Hello, all. Deepa here, and I practice as a life and leadership coach and also a facilitator. And welcome to the Leader's Voice. The Leader's Voice series amplifies the voices of leaders and entrepreneurs who are very successful in their outer world but live in their inner world with energy mastery. Now, what is this? The whole principle is to bring outer success. Inner stability is very necessary. A lot of people miss this, but there are a lot of leaders who practice it. And this space is to invite those leaders and understand more about their life and how do they practice energy mastery for outer success. And today I have a fantastic guest. And why do I say fantastic? Because he also is my mentor, and I've been on a journey with him being mentored as a coach. Welcome, Srikant. Welcome, Shrikant, to this
Hi, Deepa.
space. Yeah, and to share a bit about Shri. Shri is how we call him. Shrikant Shri. Shrikant has 20 plus years of work experience in the IT industry. He has served in senior positions in MNCs like Hays PLC, Samsung, and Microsoft. He spearheaded the establishment of the subsidiary for Hays PLC in India, and he grew it to 500 plus employees spread across multiple locations. He played a key role in setting up Samsung SDS in India and built a few product development teams. He held leadership roles for Microsoft India. After leaving the corporate world more than a decade ago, he has explored a few startups and consulted for a few startups. During the pandemic in 2020, he started his full time coaching business. He is a founder and head coach at Guiding Light Coaching Services, a firm specializing in personal and professional development through workshops, one on one, and group coaching. He passionately mentors 150 plus aspiring coaches, one being me, in their ICF credentialing journey. His primary focus is to support coaches in achieving their ICF credentials through the portfolio path and building their coaching expertise and coaching practice. And for sure, I can vouch for the ethics, the authenticity, and the depth to which Shri goes to make us coaches flower and flourish. Shrikant holds a BTech honors in electronics and communication from IIT Kharagpur and an MCC credential from the ICF. Shri is a passionate fitness enthusiast. He started running when he was 45 plus and has completed a couple of 50K ultra marathons, a few full marathons, and several half marathons. He is an avid reader and has read close to 750 plus books in the last 15 years. Commendable, Shri. Amazing. I know your love for books, and we can all see it right behind you.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Deepa. I always wish my wife was here to listen to all this great introduction. Is getting recorded, so I'm going to show it to her and let her know that people have a good impression about me, not like her.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. Well, you can do that. You don't know what would be the outcome.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you for being here. And I have watched you and your life closely. And so many breakdowns, so many breakthroughs as well. So many breakthroughs you cause in the lives of people. And surely there's an energetic element to it. And today, the whole idea is to explore that so that people know what's behind your success, and what does it take to flourish in the outer. Yeah. So, to just launch into this conversation, what do you think has been your intention to begin the inner journey while the outer journey was on?
I'm just I mean, this is a question that people have asked many times, and I think the answer has been pretty much the same. I started my work career in 1990 after I did a few startups and then got into the corporate world. And um, in 2000, this is when I was 34 years, country head for a big UK MNC. I was, I'm like, get things done, be aggressive. There's no time for, what should I say, lapses. You have to, I was a perfectionist, I must confess on that. And those days, there were no email, no mobile phones. We are talking about that era, about 24 years ago. And I was working for a UK-based company, and reports have to go like every Friday evening, every month, a consolidated report. So there was somebody who was supporting me. On a Friday evening, end of the month, I had asked the person to send the reports by fax, and I had gone for a outing with my wife and the kid. So that time I lived in Trivandrum. When I came back on Monday, I saw the fax report back from the UK, and I was like, they had fired me on the thing saying that the reports are whatever, not correct, and it didn't come on time, and I mean, so many different things. So I had to take my frustration and anger on somebody else. And the assistant who was supporting me, she was a finance executive. I called her. I just walked out of my room and just called her. Right, everybody was watching, maybe about some 200, 300 people. But there, I just shouted at her, saying that if you can't get your work done properly, you might as well stay at home and help your mother in the kitchen. I mean, I don't know why I said that. I just said that. And then she started breaking and tears rolling in her on her face and so on and so forth. And I forgot about that, and I just went home in the evening. Next day, this the girl didn't show up for work, and that's when something hit me. And I that evening I went and told my wife something like this happened. Uh, then she said, "You need to be very careful about how you are showing up for the people who are working for you." Um, and the following day, this girl came to work, and I asked her, for me, like nothing happened kind of thing. And I asked, what happened? You didn't show up for work yesterday? And then she was not talking to me. And then later, I got her in my office, and then she said, see, if I had the option of sitting at home and helping my mother in the kitchen, I will not work for somebody like you. And that really hit me. And also, I reflect on this. See, I'm working for a UK-based company. I made a statement like that and went scot-free. Yeah, if she had reported, they would have taken severe action against me. And that's when I started kind of slowing down, in the sense I'm a perfectionist. I'm expecting everybody to be perfect like the way that I am. And that may not be the right thing to do. And that is, I mean, when I reflect back, maybe that was the time I started going inwards in my inner journey. And
Mm.
that's how it started. So, uh, long answer to the short question that you
Yeah,
asked.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, in psychology, we call it displaced anger. And it comes from a very unconscious space. It's not in control. So, thank you so much for sharing so vulnerably, Shri, about what you experienced, and that becoming a catalyst for your growth. Fast forward today, how do you relate your success to this reflection and realization, and therefore the steps you took post that?
Yeah, so 2000, this happened in 2000, and when I was the country manager, end of the year, I kind of quit because I had an issue with my boss, and I came to Bangalore, then joined Samsung, and then I started working for Microsoft in 2005. 2005, after 15 years of work life, there was a realization for me I was just looking around what was going on, and then I felt, hey, if I have to do this for the next, I don't know, 25, 30 years, I don't think this is something that I would like to do. And I was a little lost. I won't say depressed. I was a little lost, disoriented. And then I went, found a counselor and had a sitting with the counselor. The counselor spoke to me. At the end of the conversation, she told me, hey, I don't think you need counseling, you need coaching. I'm like, what is that? And then she explained the difference and she kind of referred me to a couple of people. So I went and met somebody who called himself a coach and then started working with the person. That is exactly when I think I started getting into reading. I just wanted to know more and more and more of what was going on. A lot of books in the journey. Joined Toastmasters to. I'm an introvert, so it's very difficult for introverts to make connections. Uh, what should I say? Talk to a group of people and all of that. And I realized being an introvert and not openly communicating my opinions and ideas, I was losing opportunities in the workplace. That is when I said, no, I need to just get this sorted out. Um, and I worked with that particular coach for about a year. And then I got a lot of clarity. Saying that this is what I got to do. Corporate is not the place that I want to hang around for a long time. And then maybe when the right opportunity arrives, I'm going to take a plunge and
Wow.
jump into the deep side of the pool and figure out things in my own. So 2010, I got introduced to coach training, the ICF way, thanks to Microsoft, which enabled that for me. And then 2011, I quit the corporate world and jumped into doing something in my own. And that's a long story. I mean, if you have the time, I will repeat that story again.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get that. So, this process of inner mastery allowed you to slow down, allowed you to reflect, and make your future choices.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a power in really slowing down, pausing, looking inward. But I've seen so many leaders say, "I don't have time. Let's move on." Or some of them also have their diary, but it's more for writing what I did today and what I'm going to do tomorrow. It's more like a checklist. So, what's your view on that?
See, the metaphor for that is um, so in the car, right? In any vehicle, uh, we have the brake and the accelerator.
Mm.
You know what actually helps the car move faster is not the accelerator, it's the brakes. Yeah. Um, because if you have to go far, you can't be just going at a very fast pace. Correct. Um, there are obstacles that you're going to face. Um, when you face obstacles, you have to put the brakes and then slow down and then accelerate, and that is how the vehicle will move. But if you just say that I'm going to keep going fast without looking at anything, then you're going to crash. And when you crash, it's going to be very difficult to
Yeah,
uh, what should I say, recover from that crash or the damage.
yeah.
So this is I'm talking from my personal experience. Uh, Sometimes even now, I kind of want to do a lot of things at a speed, and then suddenly I realize, hey, no, 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 I just can't do this. I'm going too fast. When I get that realization, I'm going too fast. I completely stop, pause, reflect, and then kind of change my direction in the way that I want to go. So I don't have time is an excuse, I would say. It's not a priority, is what I feel.
Hmm.
Yeah. If I mean it's very simple, Deepa. If we are able to prioritize things We will find the time. We will find the time, right? So your time that you have to invest in your inner journey uh, is like you waking up in the morning and doing your morning rituals, washing your whatever, you're brushing your teeth and washing your face or taking a shower and all of that. And how much time do you really need to do your inner work? I don't think you need a lot of time, right? In fact, there's a practice that I started about a couple of months ago, not even a couple of months. 15 minutes of silence every day from 8:30 to 8:45 with another mentee of mine. It's helping me so much. So complete silence so you don't allow anything to clutter your head. Can you at least find 15 minutes to do something? I mean, I'm just saying silence as a practice that I have embraced. I'm sure 15 minutes is what are we talking about? See, 1 hour is like 4% of 24 hours. 15 minutes is like what? It's about 1%.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, 1%. Is it so difficult to get 1% of your entire day to invest in your own growth? That's of course an excuse. I mean, that's what I feel.
So it boils down to
Absolutely.
the belief of how this helps me. Is it necessary for me? Yeah. So because you believe in it, you make it happen and you create space and time for it.
Yeah.
Do
See,
you, sorry,
yeah, see, for me, energy, I mean, you call it energy mastery. Energy mastery has to happen at four different levels, right? Your physical level, your emotional level, your mental level, and your spiritual level. For me, I take the time. You know that, I mean, I've been a fitness enthusiast for a long time. I've gone through my whatever difficulties in my this
yes,
thing. Even today, I just prioritize my fitness, 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever time I get, I will do that, right? So it's a combination of all of that. It's
yes,
not unidimensional. Uh, if you, I don't know whether you have read this article, making of a corporate athlete,
Tim,
Tim,
Gal,
I'm forgetting their
Gallery,
name.
Gallery.
Yeah. So, so your energy at the physical level creates the capacity for you to focus on your intellectual and emotional and then spiritual. Uh, yeah, that's how you create energy.
Yes, yes. I mean, that's a big favorite of mine, and my leadership programs are based on that. So, the equation, which is and a lot of leaders ask, why I have so much potential in me. Why is it that my potential is not really translating into performance? And that's when it explains that we all have interferences, like you rightly said, and interferences also can be at different levels.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
have you experienced in either in mentoring or in your relationships during your Microsoft and work days that people experience interferences, which is why they are not able to live their potential?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Interferences. See, if you just to recall Tim Galloway's that formula, performance is equal to potential minus interference. Interference can happen from the external world or the internal world. I believe it is more in the internal world than the
Yes.
external world because you don't have control on what's happening outside your in the external world, but you have so much of control in what is happening in your inner world. Uh, would you be able to change all of it in one go? No, I don't think so. But if you are focused and apply the 80-20 rule of okay, there's some 10-20 things going on in my inner world. So let me just not trying to figure out everything in one go. Let me prioritize that. See, out of 10 or 20 things which are there, is there one or two things that I can address which will eventually will uh, eliminate all the other interferences that is going on within you. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like that one small thing, if you remove, then the whole thing will flow and you
absolutely.
really experience a flow.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I so agree. I'm so happy to hear this is how you think because you being a mentor to so many people, when you hold this belief, you can pass this belief, whether they take it or not, and they can live it. So, in a sense, you're becoming that part of transferring this. Have you had experiences where you have shared these thoughts and they have been received well or not received well or not understood?
Most of them don't understand this, Deepa, right? It for them it sounds like one abstract concept, something very esoterical. This is, I keep saying this often. This is something which you cannot explain. It has to be experienced. And the experience will happen only if you can blindly trust somebody and say, okay, this person says that this person has experience. Let me trust this person and give it a shot to see whether it works or not. Yeah. Trust. Trust is important to test something which you have no clue. And for me, so many things that I'm doing today. You know that we have had these conversations multiple times. Whenever I feel that I'm stuck in my business is not growing the way that I want it to grow, surrender. Absolutely surrender. Of course, surrender doesn't mean that you give up. Surrender means that you surrender to the divine, saying that I have done everything that I is in my control or my what should I say, my area of control, and I'm just going to surrender to you. So when I say surrender, I'm just surrendering to the divine, which I believe is I'm connected to, and then let that work. I mean, I know you understand. A lot of people may not understand what I'm talking
Yeah, yeah, I
about.
do understand. So you're saying surrender to a power that is much higher than you.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and
Right.
like
And so
believe.
when you surrender to the power which is higher than you, it's very difficult to explain through logic. And a lot of leaders are waiting for a logical explanation to get things done. It is not impossible. Certain things you cannot explain through logic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That must be so frustrating as a mentor.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
So when you feel this frustration, how do you manage your energy? Because any of this is an interference.
Yeah. So whenever there is a frustration, Deepa, for me, the best thing that has worked for me is sit in silence. Yeah. And uh, there's a very simple mantra that I just keep repeating. Um, I think that seems to be working for me. I mean, a lot of people ask me, how much time do you meditate? I said, no, I don't meditate for long times. I just sit in silence for about 10, 15 minutes whenever I get the time. Um, so in between meetings, before I go to sleep, after I wake up, whatever, right? And I remember now that you're asking this question too, exactly 10 years ago, I met this spiritual teacher. We have spoken about this person, Shyam. And when I went and met him, people were asking a lot of questions. How do you awaken the Kundalini? How do you do this? How do you do that? He said, it's a very simple thing. He said, can you sit in silence for just 10 minutes and observe your breath? That's all he said. Yeah. Uh, so when you do that, no, all the things that are frustrating you will just vanish because you are just focused on yourself, watching that breath, and every other story just evaporates because you're just focused on you. And that's the only thing that you control.
Yeah. I'm just taking it in as you say it. Yeah. When you said it, what struck me is that a very recent conversation I had with somebody who was exploring coaching, and she told me that, focusing on myself feels so guilty. I feel guilty about it. I feel I'm selfish. And is it okay to be selfish? So, what you are saying, can be so simple, 10 minutes, but when an inner narrative like this exists, it can be so debilitating, so near yet so far. Have you experienced, in people who come to you say the same?
An interesting question that you asked. See, I'm just going to connect this to my value. Okay.
Okay.
Altruism is a very close value for me. Altruism is about uh, keeping others' interests above mine. Okay. Now, if I actually go deeper and deeper and deeper and ask that question,
Mm.
it is about fulfilling one of my needs. Okay. Is it selfish?
Yes, exactly.
The answer could be yes or no. So
Yes.
what I'm saying is that altruism is a value because I'm keeping other people's interests above mine, but I'm doing that because I want to feel completely fulfilled.
Yeah.
So how do you answer that?
Yes.
So I think I need to be selfish to fulfill one of my core needs or values or whatever, so that other people can benefit from what I have to offer.
Yeah.
It's like they say, no, when you get into the flight, put the oxygen mask first. And yeah, you better be selfish. If that is the word, yeah, be selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. The question is, if you are not able to stand on your own feet, how are you going to help somebody walk along with you?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Fill your cup first, then pour.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've observed, when this does not happen, then there's frustration that breeds, a lot of remorse, guilt, all of that breeds, and it leads to illnesses. And normally people don't connect illnesses to all of these pent up emotions until they've explored all um, the doctors, and the different disciplines, and then realize maybe something else is needed. And of course, when they come to me, it's basically for the mind body connection. So, have you also observed that, a lot of professionals, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people around are experiencing illness? And the root cause does not is not in just the solution to that bodily symptom.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you are an expert in this. So I used to work for a startup which was into what they were. I mean, this was about
Yeah,
in 2018 when
wellness.
I started wellness, where we were aggregating Ayurveda retreats and hospitals and yoga retreats and all of that, and promoting those programs across the globe. And I had the privilege, opportunity, whatever you want to call it, to visit some of the best retreats, hospitals in the country, outside the country, meet some of the veterans in the field of Ayurveda, yoga, doctors, where I also have interviewed them, done a lot of podcasts with them. First time I heard of this term called psychosomatic, right? So what this is that is when I heard this, right? So when something is happening in your mind, it creates a huge impact in your body. They are interconnected, and that's how. So you can't separate one from the other, right? It's all a mind thing. It's all a body thing. No, I don't think so. It is interconnected. You can't separate. Yeah, what plays in the mind will show up in the body, and what is there in the body will show up in your mind. Yeah. Um, Yeah, that's the reason I keep telling people, hey, even if you can get 15 minutes, go and do some physical activity. That physical activity that you will do will clear up your head, and you will be able to think very clearly because a lot of clutter will just vanish.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So, what are your daily practices which helps you to clear your energy?
I love running. Whenever I get the opportunity, I run. I now I have stopped for whatever reason. I whenever I did yoga asanas, it's been a very enriching experience for me. Um, Walk daily walks without any digital devices. Just walk so that you're not thinking anything. You're just walking aimlessly. One thing that I have enjoyed doing, I mean, we have a forest just like closer to my place, about four, not even 5 kilometers. The huge forest with eucalyptus trees and peacocks and this and that and all of that. Before the pandemic, I used to go and run in that place uh, almost every week, long runs. Um, yeah, that is what something that I enjoy. But as a ritual, now what I do is I run. If I'm not able to run, I walk or at least show up. I have a, I mean, you and I have the same fitness coach. So show up on 2 days in a week. Just go through the go through the rigor or whatever. Even if I don't like it, when I most of the time when I walk into that thing, uh, I don't like. I know there's a lot of work, but once I finish it, the feeling is very different.
Yeah. Yeah. Lovely. Lovely. Thank you. And it's very systematic. And I know you, if you commit to something, you will do it to the T. Discipline and timeliness is so important for you. Yeah. Yeah. So, what suggestions or thoughts you want to share um, with respect to managing your energy to managing your outcomes outside?
Um, I would say just find 15 minutes in your busy schedule. Ideally, a fixed time in a day, so that you can kind of set the rhythm and keep some have some consistency. Otherwise, just find 15 minutes to do something very simple. Yeah. The 15 minutes could be just shut all your devices and sit in silence. Just sit in silence. Or if you feel that 15 minutes you can't sit in silence, do some push ups. 10 push ups. I don't think it's a difficult thing to do. Or hold a plank for 1 minute or something. So I mean, we spoke about that performance pyramid, right? If you're not, just start maybe from the lowest level of looking at increasing your physical capacity and then start slowly moving up and up and up. Yeah, you know that this is something that I benefited a lot, and I wanted to do it again and again, but doing it alone was a problem. So I've just started uh, this WhatsApp group. I'm going to say the gratitude circle. So we are going to start the gratitude practice from the 1st of November. So maybe join a
Yeah,
support group.
I'm a part of that.
If you're finding it difficult to do it in your own support group, somebody will share something that will inspire you to do something. That energy also rubs. Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's a good idea now that I'm talking about it. Join a support group if you're not able to do it alone. Yeah.
Absolutely, support groups really help. It gives the group energy and takes all of us together.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Lovely. Thank you. It almost sounds like your life is planned, but I'm sure the turbulences and the trials would have led you to put these building blocks in place today, such that now there's a flow, There's silence, there's energy practice, there is outer success, and everything seems to be in place.
Yeah, absolutely. See, we can only plan and execute things the way that we have planned, but you have no control. We have no control. So when things don't go the way that you want them to go, you have to take the detour and whatever, slow down, whatever needs to happen, needs to happen. Yeah. So that's where you need to surrender because you know that everything, I mean, you're not ruling the world, you're not running the world, there's somebody else above you who's running. Surrender. But surrender, as I mentioned to you, surrender is not about not doing anything. Surrender is about continue to doing whatever that you are capable of doing and then allowing that divine to take over. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. And I'm sure it will be valuable for those who are listening to you. Thank you.
You're
And wishing you
welcome.
all the best for
Yeah.
your energy management forever.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Deepa, for inviting me. And of course, for that wonderful introduction. I'm waiting for that recording to come my way and I'm going to show it to my wife.
Yeah, surely. Thank you.